Thanks for coming back and watching part 3 of this 4-part series on making a stained glass birch log lamp. So now that I've got everything sanded on these two pieces that hold together the lamp middle itself, I'm going to put a urethane on those and then I'll sand those down afterwards. And now that I'm lining these logs up to make sure that they fit right and they're equal distances apart and that they're not hanging over the edge, which is why I flipped it upside down, the edge of that top piece, that cypress piece with a hole in it. I'm lining everything up so this glass will fit in there. Well, I'm going to measure it and make sure that it fits in there perfectly. And one side was 4.5 inches and the other was 4.25, so I will be cutting the glass to those widths. As I mentioned in, I think it was part 1, where I was cutting the logs flat and all the same height, that they were about 16 and 1/8, which is the width, the height of this lamp where the glass will sit, and it's perfect. Now I have a collection of all kinds of glass. In fact, I buy a lot of the glass, and it's expensive, and it's very expensive to ship. It's crated extremely well, so it's fragile. So I do find reclaimed glass, but for the most part I just buy the pieces like this piece here, which is predominantly blue, but it has clear areas and translucent areas in it. So when you're thinking about a light bulb, you're going to see it with a glass like this. So you have to pick a light bulb that will fit well with the kind of glass that you choose to use. I've got a link in the description to a number of different glass LEDs, light bulbs rather, LEDs that you can use. The Thomas Edison ones are really nice. They do make them in LED. Again, it's in the description below. Now, if any of you watching this have cut glass before, you know it can be a challenge unless it's dead flat, but I tend to pick stuff that isn't flat. It has some kind of texture on it or tooth, which makes it very difficult to cut. Now, one side of this glass was more flat than the other, so I picked that side to cut on. If you pick on a Ripley side, the cutting tool can swing from side to side or skip, and therein lies your bad etching. It scratches actually the glass, and that's how it knows where to break. And it just is very challenging to break unusual glass, and I end up really wasting a lot and throwing a lot out just because it's difficult to cut, as you'll see in a minute. So I flipped over the glass to cut on the smooth side, thinking that it would be easier, but there's texture and uneven surfaces on both sides, and you'll see that it just didn't cut right, and I lost this piece, even though I'm using the cutting oil to help this cutter slide smoothly. It's very difficult to cut it. You could get a diamond cutting blade, but you know, I'm not really set up to do glass. I see how it cut bad, so I wasn't happy. So wisely, I'd bought two of these pieces. They are 12 by 16 inches, and now actually this one was about 10.5 by 16 inches, so I'm cutting another slice, trying to get two that are 4 inches by 16 inches. As for the other two sides, you'll see what I did to improvise and make that work. I think it turned out good in the end, but you know, you gotta make it work. And you don't always get the cooperation that you're hoping to get with glass or any organic materials. You just do your best and make it work. Now this piece I'm going to cut the right length so it's still 16 inches, and then I'll cut it in half, and I'll end up with two 4-inch by 8-inch pieces, and you'll see what I do with that next. Now I'm trying to decide what piece to add on to this 8-inch by 4-inch section, and I only had to do that because it broke, obviously, but it turned out pretty cool, adding on different stuff. I thought about using this piece, but I didn't think that I didn't think it went well enough with the blue and the dark blue and the translucency of this bottom piece here, so I ended up going with a light blue, as you'll see. Now you can see that this top piece here only goes on one way, so that was what I was designing, I think, in part 2, making sure that this thing went on the right way. And I like the way this turned out with the blue, light blue at the top and dark blue at the bottom, and I put copper foil around all the edges. I didn't have to do it on the longer pieces because they were hidden behind, but the ones that showed up, I did put the copper foil on. It's 1/2-inch copper foil. Now what I'm doing is adding an additional piece at the top. It's actually one of the cutoffs from the darker blue glass from a previous cut. Now I'm using an Aero hot glue gun. I'll leave a link in the description below for that, and a really strong glue. A lot of hot glues aren't very strong. This is a particularly strong glue. I got it from a place called Glue Stick. It's GLUE-STIX. You can find it there if you're interested. I'm not a affiliate. I don't get many money from them, but that's where I got it, and they're a good company to work with. Well, thank you so much for watching part 3 of my stained glass and birch log lamp. Stay tuned and subscribe and hit the bell button for part 4 that is coming up in the next week. Thanks for watching.